Manchester City 2025-2026 football season. Can Manchester City be considered favorite to win the UEFA Champions League? Can Manchester City be considered favorite to win the Premier League this season? In this video, I am going to break down everything possible for you guys. The season preview, the transfer rumors, that's a player that can be leaving Manchester City during the January transfer window, and the possible signings they can make during the January transfer window, team analysis, tactical analysis, key players and predictions for the season. So if this is the first time you are coming across my YouTube channel, I am just inviting you to stay patient, watch the video carefully till the end, and tell me what you think about this Manchester City current squad and Pep Guardiola. Now let us get into the details. What is going wrong for Manchester City already? Because that is the question that people are supposed to be asked at this point in time. 3 games, 2 defeats already into the Premier League season of 2025-2026. Remember, Manchester City first Premier League game this season, they played against Wolverhampton, won the game, yes, won the game with a clean sheet. Second game they played against Tottenham, suffered a defeat 2-0. Third game they played against Brighton, suffered another defeat 2-1. And the question is, what is the problem with Manchester City? Are we beginning to see the Manchester City of last season? If I am to answer that question, I will tell you no, we are not beginning to see the Manchester City of last season. The only problem is the level of tactics. From what I'm trying to understand, the problem with Manchester City is just at the level of the tactics, and I believe that they are going to do well, because when you take a look at other clubs around Europe, right, even Barcelona is struggling. They have just started the season. So I think Manchester City is going to pick up. Rodri is back, so he's going to help the team in one way or the other. Now when you take a look at this season, right, the Premier League and the Champions League, we cannot just rule out Manchester City from the Premier League title race and rule out Manchester City from the Champions League title race, because that is going to be a difficult decision. To me, Manchester City can still be considered one of the favorites to win the Premier League title this season, despite Arsenal with 6 points out of 9, Liverpool with 9 points out of 9, Chelsea with 7 points out of 9, even Manchester United is that ahead of Manchester City with just 3 points out of 9. But there is still a possibility. We are waiting to see how the days ahead are going to look like, because immediately the international break is over, the first Manchester City game is going to be against Manchester United, which is a game must win for Pep Guardiola and his boys. Remember, they have lost 2 games already in a row, so this game is going to be a game must win. People have been asking, what formation can really be the best for Pep Guardiola this season? What formation is Pep Guardiola really going to use this season? I will tell you guys back to the transfer window. To me, I think Manchester City did not really do what it was needed to be done by them, because they did not sign a right back, and we all have seen in the past, even last season, that Manchester City is having a lot of difficulties at the level of the right back. Ever since Kai Walker left Manchester City, we are still to find a right back. Nunes is not a right back. Nunes cannot help Manchester City win trophies. Even Levis cannot also help Manchester City as a right back win trophies. So we expected Manchester City to sign a right back during the summer signings, but they did not sign any player. What did Manchester City instead do? They let Akanji left the club, joined Inter Milan. So Akanji left Manchester City, joined Inter Milan, a season where they are still looking for players. Now John Stones is already injured, Vardiol is injured. The only 2 defenders that I know that are available at this point in time is Ruben Dias and Nathan Ake, and these 2 guys are not good. I'm not going to pretend to you. Ruben Dias is gradually dropping. His performances have been dropping, and I don't think he's a player that Pep Guardiola can really count on. Now when you go to the level of the midfield, Tijani Reinders alongside Rodri, the guys are going to do well. Maybe Bernardo Silva is going to be playing ahead of them. Ryan Cherki can start from the bench. Even now, the guy is injured. Phil Foden is not 100% ready for games. And when you go to the level of the attack now, Erling Haaland is there, Oumar Marmoush is there. Now, who is going to accompany him? Because that is what is actually difficult at this point in time. For the last 3 games, we have seen Doku starting the games from the bench, and we believe that maybe in the days ahead things are actually going to change. But we assume that Pep Guardiola is actually thinking of a possible solution to the problems that Manchester City is currently going through, because the season is not actually the best. It did not actually start off in a good way. Manchester City already struggling just after match day 3, so it is going to be a difficult season. And if you ask me, Can Manchester City be considered favorite to win the Premier League season this season? I would say yes, of course. Manchester City can be considered favorite to win the Premier League this season, alongside Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. Those are my only 4 clubs that can be considered favorite to win the Premier League this season. You can also ask me, can Manchester City be considered favorite to win the UEFA Champions League? And I will tell you, of course. As long as Pep Guardiola is there, as long as his players are there, there is everything is possible. Anything can happen. Now, you guys are failing to understand something, and I know you guys are also praying for Pep Guardiola's downfall, right? It is not going to happen. Manchester City is going to bounce back. When you take a look at last season, we all criticized Manchester City for dropping a lot. If you are doubting me, you can go and check the Premier League table. So you can go and check the Premier League table of last season. And when you check the Premier League table of last season, you notice that the point difference between Arsenal and Manchester City after the final day, that is after match day 38 of last season, the point difference was just 3. You can go and check it out. The point difference between Arsenal and Manchester City last season at the end of the season was just 3. That's just to tell that everything is still possible. There are 35 more games to go for the Premier League season to come to an end. Can Liverpool win all the 35 games? No. Can Arsenal win all the 35 games? No. Can Manchester City win all the 35 games? No. Can Chelsea win all the 35 games? No. There is a possibility that anything can happen. And like I told you guys, Manchester City still stands a chance to win the Premier League title this season. And when you take a look at this team, I think Pep Guardiola at times is just being stubborn. I know we fans, we always try to understand football in our own ways, of which the coach don't see it that way, but at times you see things that are different. Take a look at the last 3 games that they have played. Oscar Bob being a starter ahead of Doku. Is Oscar Bob a better player than Doku? Is Oscar Bob a better player than Doku? Because I don't understand. Maybe in the days ahead, Pep Guardiola is going to change a lot of things. Remember, Manchester City versus Manchester United this weekend, Premier League match day 4 is a game nobody should miss, because that's the game where Manchester City needs to bounce back, and it is a game must win for them. Now, when you take a look at this Manchester City again, you can be like, HT, who is the key player in this team now that Kevin De Bruyne is no more? And I will tell you, I don't know. That is one of the problems I think Manchester City is going through. You know, when you take a look at all the successful clubs around the world, you discover that there is always a key player in a team. But the Manchester City is still to find a key player in this team. Take a look at Barcelona. Lamine Yamal is the key player. Take a look at Real Madrid. Kylian Mbappe is the key player. Take a look at Liverpool. You see Mohamed Salah as the key player. Take a look at Chelsea. Cole Palmer as a key player. And many other clubs. You always find a key player in that team, and I think that is one of the problems that Manchester City is going through, and they need to get a solution to that as soon as possible before the international break even gets to an end, because we're left with just 2 days for the international break to come to an end, and Manchester City needs to find a solution to that before it is too late, because it is not going to be easy. I know Manchester City fans are expecting a lot from Pep Guardiola this season. Manchester City fans are expecting a lot from even the Manchester City players this season. And they have started off the season with injuries. Ryan Cherki is injured. John Stones is injured. Phil Foden is injured. You get the point? So it is already a tough one. For Savino, I don't know. I did not even check before I started the video. I don't know why I'm not seeing Savino, but it seems like he's also injured. So what is actually the problem? Why did Manchester City let Akanji leave the club? Why did that happen? Those are the type of questions that we can be asking. Yes, this is a new season. It needs in fact, I'm just confused of this Manchester City team, because these first 3 games, especially the one against Tottenham, they played that game at home. They deserve to win that game. Tottenham defeated them 2-0. The second game, they played against Brighton. They scored the first goal after considered 2 goals. Now Donnarumma have arrived to the club, so that is a new player that is going to assist to help Manchester City in one way or the other. When you take a look at the Premier League season after match day 3, Erling Haaland is already the top goal scorer with 3 goals. That's just to tell you how many goals he can score this season. 3 games, 3 goals, and there are 35 more games to go. So 35 more goals to come. 35 goals at least to come for Erling Haaland. It is going to be a tough season, guys. If you are watching the video right, just be patient enough. Even if you are not a Manchester City fan, you can just take note of this video. The season is going to be a long one. Now, comes to the UEFA Champions League. Manchester City is going to play a game against Real Madrid. They'll have a game against Real Madrid. Can they win the Champions League this season? Yes, of course. Can they win the Carabao Cup this season? Yes, of course. Can they win the FA Cup this season? Yes, of course. So you guys have nothing to panic about. The season is still long, and it is too early to start judging the coach, judging the players, judging the club, judging the leagues. Just stay tuned because more things are coming. And my predictions for this season for Manchester City is this. It's very simple. Manchester City is not going to have a trophyless season. Manchester City is being considered, so I am considering Manchester City as one of the favorites to win the Premier League this season. I still consider them as one of the favorites to win the UEFA Champions League this season. So it is going to be a tough time. Guys, what are your predictions for Manchester City this season? I'm not going to make the video to be long. I'm going to end the video here. And if this is the first time you are coming across my YouTube channel, I would just invite you to hit a thumb up to the video, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and most importantly, you turn on the notification bell so when next I post videos that are similar to this one, you'll be one of the first people to see it. And most importantly, I am just starting up my YouTube channel, and I will appreciate if you can let me know down in the comment section if there is something I mentioned in the video that you don't think is fair. Let me just correct it, so when next I record a video that is similar to this one, you are going to enjoy it. See you guys on to my next video.